Hello and welcome to another modular of Your Hungry Dragon. I'm glad to have you with us tonight, and I was at the Chinese store earlier looking at different things for a future course I'm putting together, and they had Kugwa or bitter melon on sale, and I am in the mood for bitter melon. It's one of my more favorite dishes, and the name says, bitter or ku gua melon. It's very good, but it's very bitter. The name does not lie. So I decided to do a bonus model teaching you in case if you should ever want to try bitter melon, you're at a Chinese store and you see it's kind of a weird look kind of like a cucumber with weird ridges on it. So I figured I would do a quick module to show you how, if you want to try bitter melon, how to do it. And share one of the dishes I really like with you so you too can try it. And similar to a green pepper, you want to cut it in half. Then you want to take a spoon, just like you would a green pepper, and take out the seeds, because inside the bitter melon has seeds which don't taste good. And once you get the seeds out, you want to cut it into slices. For the sake of time, I pre-prepped a couple. Like I already had one other bitter melon, but I want to show you what it looked like whole. So I pre-prepped it. And again, if you can batch your vegetables together when you cut them, it's a whole lot faster. And I'm all about speed, especially when I'm hungry. So, you cut up your bitter melon like so. And I have probably a teaspoon of ginger and about a tablespoon of garlic. I already got this stove hot because it's an electric stove, so I don't want to waste time there. Then I'm going to put about a tablespoon of oil. Don't need a lot. It's mainly just to keep my ginger and garlic from sticking. Because bitter melon is so bitter, it's good to have a little bit more garlic or a little bit more ginger in the dish, because that way it kind of helps offset the bitterness. I'm also going to use black bean paste or salted black beans, which I taught you how to make in an earlier module if you go back to your sauces. And I already prepped that. Again, I have the black beans soaking in hot water. So I'm going to drain the water off because the water retains the salt and you don't want too much salt. So again, fermented black beans, you can remember that modular. And put probably a tablespoon of fermented black beans in there. Put the kugwa, a bit of melon in there. This one, because I'm making bitter melon, and usually things that are bitter want to be happier, so they're less bitter. So I'm going to add a little bit of wine to it. Probably a tablespoon. That way it makes the bitter melon happy. And everybody likes happy wine, or happy bitter melon. Now I'm going to put probably a cup of water in there just so it can cook and do its thing. I'm going to put probably a teaspoon, well, not probably, a teaspoon of soy sauce. The salted black beans is already salty, so I'm certainly not going to put more salt into it. And because it's bitter, again, this is one of those dishes where I'm going to put probably a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half of sugar. And all of these things, the reason why, unlike a lot of cooking programs, I don't have them all neatly measured out, although I will certainly give you the recipes. And if I haven't already mentioned it, in a lot of the modulars, I have the recipes on the side for it as a download. But also at the end we'll have a recipe book, which will have all the recipes in there for you as well. But because I think cooking is about taste. Different people like food more salty or less salty, more pepper or less, more garlic or ginger or less. It's a thing of preference. So I don't want to tell you you have to put this and you have to put that, because at the end of the day, make it the way you like it. The most important thing is to try different ways so you can see how you like it. Now granted, there's certain guidelines. You don't want to put a cup of soy sauce in or it's going to be way too soy saucy. But a tablespoon, teaspoon, 2 tablespoons, well not 2 tablespoons, no more than really a tablespoon of soy sauce, no more than say a half a teaspoon of sesame oil, because again it'll make the dish bitter. So there's certain guidelines you do want to follow, but for the most part it's not 100% concrete, unlike baking where you have to have everything spot on, otherwise the chemistry of the dish isn't going to work. Chinese food is a food of love, not so much chemistry. Though it does have its own chemistry, like in the timing dish I taught you about. So again, bitter melon, like a carrot, takes a while to cook. I would say you want to let it do its thing for at least probably 5 minutes or so in the water. Perfect. Now, just let it cook for a little while more. And again, it's one of those things that in the wintertime when it's cold, bitter melon is a way of getting your blood pressure, your circulation moving well. So it's a good thing to eat in the winter. Or they have a soup with, looks almost like a squash. It's like half watermelon, half squash. And it's called donghua, or winter melon. And you'll make that with soup, and you cook the winter melon and donghua with ginger and water and maybe a chicken stock as an example. It makes for a really good soup, and it's good to do in the winter because ginger, that type of squash, is probably why we eat squash for Thanksgiving, except too in the winter, even in Western food, it's good for your circulation. Besides, it's a good comfort food. So now that it's cooked for a while, again, I'll add about a tablespoon of tapioca flour. And like any roux, it thickens the longer it cooks. So you don't want to put too much in because otherwise again it gets jelly. But on the other hand, you want enough to where it coats the vegetable, because then you get maximum flavor. And there you go. Bitter melon, or kugwa. So, since I was in the mood for kugwa tonight, I decided to do a bonus modular for you guys so you also hopefully can enjoy it. Again, try this dish. Let me know what you think in the comments below and enjoy.